Automotive Tales. On today's episode, we are back on the 944. Today's job is to bleed the brake system so we can check those rear brake lines we've done are good. Then we're going to get the car out, spin it round, back into the garage so we can access the front lines, which we know need doing from way back when we did the discs and pads. However, I think it's all going to have to come apart again at some point because we definitely need a new brake hose. Look at the state of that. How on earth that passed its last MOT is beyond me. Clearly it's been done at some point in the past because look, someone's actually hacked a square out of the wheel arch liner to get to it. So without further ado, let's get over to the Easy Bleed. So next stage is to put some fluid in. So we've got the Easy Bleed kit. So you'll see we've got this tank here. This is now full of lovely DOT4, which is going to pressurise the master cylinder and hopefully push fluid through the empty lines to fill them all up, flush all the crap out and all the bubbles, and then we can put the wheels back on. So this system, like the one I used for the clutch, is attached or will be attached to the wheels down here, and use a little bit of air pressure from the wheel, hopefully not letting it go completely flat, to provide pressure into the system to push it all through. So I can do this as I'm on my own. I have nobody sitting in here to push the pedal for me. So the loner's way of doing a brake bleed kit. So you can probably hear the Easy Bleed in the background. I have a bit of a leak on that system, unfortunately, but it is doing its job. You can just see the fluid slowly starting to come through. So we are getting there slowly but surely. Right, that is the rear brakes bled. The only one downside of the Easy Bleed system is it does tend to fill the reservoir right to the top of here, which is a problem when you're putting the cap back in, which has got this nice little float on. So it's always handy to have a little syringe so you can suck any excess brake fluid out. So when you put the cap back in, it doesn't all overflow and run down the side of here and make a mess. Now, it is still a little over full. That should be low enough to get the cap back in, but I'm not too worried because almost immediately the car is coming out. I'm going to turn it around, back it into the space, and then we're going to do the same job on the front. So we're going to bleed the whole system again to the front, and then we can work on getting the level just so. So I'm going to probably syringe one or two more little bits out, get that levelled off, and then we can finally put the car on the floor. Okay, so we have the 944 out of the garage. The plan is to turn the car around, but I thought I would just open the bonnet and have a little look-see, only to spot something absolutely terrifying. So in the time the car has been sat, it's decided it doesn't want to hold fuel. So I saw fuel dripping at a rapid rate out of this fitting here, dropping down into the engine, and you can probably just about make out, if I can get the camera to zoom in down there, there's a whole pool down here of fluid, which is presumably petrol out of here. So in the 2 minutes it's been running, it's probably spat out, that's probably about 2 or 3 quarters of the petrol. So it's a good job I didn't let it warm up in the garage before moving it, because there wouldn't be a garage anymore. So it's important when a car's been sat for any length of time, I mean this has only been here for a month, to check everything thoroughly. So yeah, that's marginally terrifying. We almost burnt the whole garage down. Great. So now to add to the list of jobs is fuel lines. Wonderful. Well, that didn't quite go as planned. So once again, the 944 has tried to kill me. So we need to address this fueling problem, or the fuel leak, before it burns the whole workshop down. So I'm going to employ the help of some people that actually know what they're doing, and we're going to send the car off to the folks at Porsche Spares UK down in Solihull, who are going to give the fuel lines a once over, check if it's just a fitting that's loose or if it is a hose that's perished. I have my suspicions it might be because the previous owner was using E10, and these cars are not compatible with E10 fuel. And they're also going to do the engine mounts for me. So I've decided to be a bit lazy. I know full well that while the engine is canted over onto the driver's side in the 944, it means there's bags of room to get to the engine mount on the passenger side. However, on the driver's side, you've got an exhaust manifold, you've got a steering box, and you've got a pedal box, all right where the engine mount is. So I've been warned to not bother trying to tackle that in my little workshop. You really need a 4-post lift to get access in. You can't see into it, but to get access into it and do the job. So I'm going to leave that horrible job to the specialists. So I've already been and bought the mounts. So we're heading down to Porsche Silverstone. We've ordered some OEM engine mounts for the car, as that was one of the things on the list from Cavendish Porsche when they went in and inspected the car. Porsche and I got 924 turbo mounts, because apparently they don't do the 944 engine mounts anymore because they failed all the time, like mine have. So we're going to put the 924 turbo mounts on, which apparently should solve all of the problems and will probably outlive the car. I mean, they're almost worth half as much as the car, but anyway, we're going to hand it over to the professionals and it's going to come back, ideally not leaking fluid and with 2 nice new engine mounts. And then we can finally get on to the front brakes, which I've been dying to do for ages. But that is going to be a job for a different workshop session. So until then, bye for now. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all that jazz. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's pissing out of that.